My name's Jack Waldorf. I'm the Executive Director at Western Governors Association. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the fourth and final Decarbonizing the West workshop initiative here in Portland, Oregon. I want to thank today's host, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek, for providing a forum to discuss these critical issues today. I'd also like to recognize our initiative partners, Basin Electric Power Cooperative, Google Energy, Idaho National Laboratory, JP Morgan Chase, and Jennifer, it's your birthday. Where are you? Happy birthday. There you are, right there. So she's sharing her birthday with us, so make sure to not embarrass her at all today. So I want to thank Net Power, Tri-State Generation and Transmission Association, and the Walton Family Foundation. Their continued support and expertise has been instrumental in the efforts of this initiative, and we're so grateful for their support. And I also want to take a minute to recognize the WGA team. WGA team, raise your hand. A lot of work goes into these initiatives, and we just cannot thank them enough for all their efforts. And in particular, I want to give Abby a shout out, who you'll hear from plenty today, and those of you in the room who've met with Abby, you know how great she is. My running joke is we'll all be working for her at some point, and it's absolutely true. It's not a joke anymore, and we're actually genuinely concerned about that. But Abby, kudos. Thank you for your leadership on this initiative. So last July, Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon launched the Decarbonizing the West as his 2024 WGA Chair initiative. This effort is exploring how decarbonization strategies, including carbon capture, utilization and storage technologies, direct air capture, and natural sequestration can position Western states as innovative leaders in reducing carbon emissions. Through this initiative, WGA has convened experts and industry leaders to discuss a broad range of issues and topics related to decarbonizing. This has been a collaborative and bipartisan effort supported by other Western governors as well. Just last September, Governor Gordon hosted the kickoff workshop in Gillette, Wyoming, where conversations focused on the development of carbon capture, utilization, and storage technologies. In December, Idaho Governor Brad Little hosted a second workshop in Boise, which focused on natural sequestration and explored topics related to agriculture, forestry, and land management. And just last month, Governor Jared Polis from Colorado hosted the third workshop in Denver, which explored direct air capture, carbon transport, and geologic storage. Each of these workshops explored unique but critical components of the broader decarbonization strategies. And throughout this initiative, it has been clear that decarbonizing the West will require deployment of a range of strategies and technologies, including CCUS, DAC, and carbon solutions. This week, we will continue those conversations and discuss opportunities for both natural and industrial carbon removal. While this, like I said, is our fourth and final workshop, our work on this initiative will carry out throughout the spring. In fact, WGA will be hosting a virtual webinar series exploring additional decarbonization topics. The first one will be held next week and will explore long-term liabilities for geologic storage and feature experts from the University of Wyoming School of Energy Resources, North Dakota's Industrial Commission, and other carbon industry proponents. I hope you all tune in next Wednesday, March 20th at 11 a.m. Mountain, and registration's available on our WGA website at this moment. Through these workshops, webinars, and surveys, WGA has been conducting a thorough stakeholder engagement process to identify the best routes to decarbonize the West and biggest challenges to accomplishing it. That's where your involvement is so important. Your participation here today will help inform policy recommendations to streamline and incentivize carbon reduction and removal efforts while identifying strategies for broader implementation across the West. Findings and recommendations will be compiled into our final report, which will guide the development of Western Governors policy and WGA's future advocacy on this subject. And we'll publish this report in June at our 2024 annual meeting in Olympic Valley, California. Registration's going live for that soon, right, team? Sarah? Team? Oh, perfect, awesome. So check out our website, we hope to see you there. And once again, thank you all for joining us today, both in person and those joining us virtually. I look forward to a productive conversation over the next 2 days here in Portland, and thank you again for being here. And now, I have the great honor and privilege to introducing our host. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek. As governor, her leadership has been instrumental in shaping policies that promote affordable housing, accessible healthcare, and sustainable environmental practices. Prior to becoming governor, she served as Oregon's House of Representatives, where she led the House for almost a decade and is the longest-serving speaker in Oregon's history. Before her time in elected office, Governor Kotek fought to end hunger while working at the Oregon Food Bank and then serving as policy director for Children First Oregon, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering communities to advocate for kids so all children in Oregon can thrive. Certainly, a strong career dedicated to advocacy and public service continues to pave the path for the governor, she proudly serves as the chief executive of the Beaver State. And it is with that, it is my privilege and honor to welcome our host, the 39th governor of the great state of Oregon, the Honorable Tina Kotek.
Thank you, Jack. Just slide in the Beaver State thing there, right? We were just talking about beaver dams up here. The things we learned. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see you all. Thank you for being here. It's really important that you're here today. This is an important topic that I think you all know that. You wouldn't be here otherwise, and those online, thank you for joining us. I want to thank the Western Governors Association, the Western States, all the team that put together the workshops here for the final Decarbonizing the West workshop. It's important for us to come together and talk about the natural and technological strategies for carbon reduction. And I think what you see through this workshop is Western governors are leading the way. So thank you for that. The conversations that we will have today and tomorrow are vital to our very future. Beyond just looking ahead to how we prepare and respond to the impacts of climate change, if our communities across the West are to thrive, we need to build a more resilient future that forges connection across our landscapes and brings rural and urban economies together on those solutions. Oregon, as many of you know, has long been a national leader in establishing strong climate policies. Under my leadership as Speaker, we passed very bold climate policies to collectively reduce greenhouse gas emissions by at least 45% below 1990 levels by 2035. These policies are an important step forward, but only if they are implemented well and equitably across the state to benefit our communities, especially our underserved rural and frontier communities. To reach our shared climate goals, we must tackle the unique needs of specific regions across our states, from timber-dependent communities to farm and ranching hubs. And as we are in an unprecedented time for federal clean energy investments in our country, we have to evolve partnerships with private industry to attract sustainable businesses to our Western states. Here in Oregon, my team is charting a pathway forward for my administration to support the resilience of our diverse natural and working landscapes while promoting the research, private sector investment, and innovation to address emissions reductions. You will be hearing more about this in the coming months, but I can tell you we are committed to the type of work that you're hearing about in these workshops. Our natural and working lands are a cornerstone of our rural and tribal economies and an integral part of building healthy, climate-resilient communities. They're also a powerful resource to help meet our state's ambitious climate goals, sequester carbon, and respond to a future of increasing uncertainty. Over the course of this workshop, and I wish I could attend the whole thing, it's gonna be super, super wonky, so have fun. Over the course of this workshop, we'll be discussing emerging opportunities in front of us to increase economic viability for private sector investment. Our region's climate goals and national federal efforts can aid in diversifying revenue streams and identifying new value-added opportunities for ag workers, farmers, ranchers, and forest owners across the West. I'm personally excited to see some of the transformative transition work already underway. Many of you know that this past fall, the U.S. Department of Energy announced that the Pacific Northwest Hydrogen Association's PNWHT hub was selected as one of the regional clean hydrogen hubs following a competitive nationwide process. The hub will span across Washington, Oregon, and Montana, and will leverage the abundant clean power and innovative technology of the companies in the Pacific Northwest to accelerate the transition to clean hydrogen production and use. The hub is absolutely a critical resource in our mission to decarbonize the region's heavy-duty transportation, long-duration energy storage, our ports, our agricultural and industrial operations. This is simply a transformational opportunity for the Pacific Northwest to accelerate development of the nation's clean energy economy, and I can tell you this is tailor-made for the Pacific Northwest, where we have a proud tradition of technological innovation and collaboration on taking on these bold challenges. It frankly is in our DNA here in the Pacific Northwest, and we're very excited to have that Hub Award. We all know, and I want to thank a lot of our agency staff that are here from Oregon and other states, so thank you. We cannot advance this work if we work in silos. States and sovereign tribal nations all have a vested interest in prioritizing decarbonization. To be successful, we must all come together in partnership. I remain committed to fostering strong government-to-government relationships with Oregon's sovereign tribal nations through meaningful and transparent consultation and coordination. As I said, we have some staff and agency directors from our natural resource agencies here from Oregon, and I want to thank them for the hard work that they do, but also all the Western states and the leadership across that's watching online and here today. This is not just Oregon. This is multiple states, staff who are committed, agencies who are committed. You're going to do the hard work. And when the job of governors is to have your back and say, keep going. So thank you for all the work that you do. I also want to thank Governor Mark Gordon from Wyoming. He's stuck at home. You know, some legislators are keeping him back home. But his initiative at his behest, I think, has been really critical. And I had the opportunity to sit with Governor Gordon when we were back for the National Governors Association meeting a couple weeks ago in D.C. In fact, we sat together at the White House's dinner for governors. And, you know, to have a governor like that in Wyoming who is so committed to this issue is really a huge opportunity for everyone. So I just want to thank him for his leadership. And again, following up what Jack said, the hard work of the WGA staff to put this together, thank you. We haven't met yet, Abby, right? Okay. But it does take our staff saying, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to make this worthwhile. And I think all the panels you're going to have here in the workshop are pretty amazing. We must not be daunted by the speed and the scale of the changes on the landscape that we're already seeing in the West because of climate change. Indeed, whether it's housing or behavioral health, education, or climate change, my administration is ready to meet the most daunting challenges. That's what we have to do. We have to say, these are hard, but we can get in there, and we have to make progress with strategic solutions, which is part of the goal today. I really hope you enjoy the roundtables. I wish, like I said, I could stay for all of them. I look forward to the ideas that are going to come out, the next big ideas, and what we here in Oregon have to bring to fruition and what the other Western states have to do. And with the Western Governors Association leading the way, with the support of the Western governors, I think we can be a model for the nation to actually make progress. So thank you all for being here, and I hope you enjoy the workshop. Thank you.